Hi everybody, my name's Anna and welcome to By Laguna. Hopefully this will be the first video of many. I'm hoping that we could go on a learning journey together and learning how to do wire wrapping, silversmithing, lapidary work, and maybe even if I go on any rock hounding adventures, you would like to come along with me. So, I'm sorry for my nervousness. This is my first video, so I hope that you enjoy it. And yeah, so today we're going to be working on, I like to call this a cage wire wrap. So we're going to be working on something like this. It's an electroplated quartz. There we go. Electroplated quartz, and we're going to wire wrap it today. So hopefully you would like to know more, and if you would like to, keep watching the video and I'll show you how I make this. So let's get into it. Okay, so the materials that we're going to be using today is I'm using an electroplated quartz stone. I will be using a 0.8 of non-tarnish gold colored copper wire. You can use a 0.6 mil or 0.4 mil or even a 1 mil, depending on the size of your stone, but I find that the 0.8 mil works really well for this type of stone. Our other tools that we're going to be using a pair of long nose pliers, a pair of wire cutters for cutting our wire, and I'll be using a pair of bail making pliers here. But you could use, if you don't have that, you could use a pair of round nose pliers, or you could even use a pencil or anything that's round to make your bail at the end. Okay, so we'll just put this stone to the side for now. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my wire here and I'm going to cut about 30 centimeters. So we grab our pliers here and we'll just cut this at about 30 centimeters. There we go. So that's one, and then we're going to need two. So you need 2 pieces of wire for this. So we're going to cut this at about 30 centimeters again. Now, if you're unsure about using copper wire, because there can be some waste and quite a bit of waste when you're first starting to wire wrap, I would suggest using an aluminium wire. Then that way it's cheap. You can get it from any discount store, Bunnings or anything like that. And then that way it's not going to cost you a lot if you're wasting it. So, because when you first start to learn to wire wrap, you will waste quite a bit of wire. But because I'm teaching you, I will be showing you how to do this. I will be using some copper wire. Now this is non-tarnish, so over time it won't tarnish. And yeah, okay. So first what we want to do is, let me just adjust this a bit. Okay, first what we want to do is we're going to get our 2 lots of wire. If I can pick it up. Alright, now we're not going to go straight to the middle, so just a little bit off from the middle. You want to crisscross your wires like so. So I'm going to go close to the middle, but not quite the middle, because we're going to use the rest of what's left over to wrap around the stone. So I'm going to wrap this about 3 times. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Now that we've got that first bit made up here, I just want to leave just enough space so that I can get the bottom of the stone down. Because I want the pointy part down, I need enough that it will fit snugly on that bottom, but not make the stone go all the way through. So you want it to be a snug fit. So once I've made like a sort of loop there, then I go ahead and I twist this again around about 3 times. So 1, 2, 3. And there you should have something that looks like that with this little center bit here. So I'm just going to open that up a little bit like that. And then I'm going to grab my stone. So I'm using this stone here. And what I want to do is I want it just to fit snugly just over that top bit. So I'm going to manipulate. Let me see if I turn this around. I'm just going to manipulate this bit here just a little bit because I don't want it going all the way over, but I just want it to fit snugly on that base. And then I'm just going to push. Sometimes it moves. That's okay because it can be fixed up towards the end, like so. All right. So now it should be just looking like this. All right. So we're going to hold these two bits that you've already wrapped aside, and then we're going to grab the piece from this side and this piece, and I'm just going to go over a bit. Now I want to get it as close to the stone as I can because you want a really snug fit. And then I'm just going to twist. I'm going to twist this about 3 times. And I'm just going to push it back up there. And then we're going to move to the other side. And we're going to do the same thing. So holding those first ones originally again. And I'm just going to fold these over as close to the stone as I can get. And wrap that again. Now, as you can see, you're starting to build the cage around the stone here. So we're just going to keep doing this until I get to the top of the stone. And just keep. And I'll just keep repeating. Just keep repeating that process until I get to the top. Okay, so now that we're at the top of the stone here, sometimes you might have a little bit where you might be able to do it one more time, but only maybe once. But for the alright, for this one I'm not going to do that. So I'm just going to try and make these meet at the top here, like so. Now you are going to have some pieces here that are either shorter or longer. That's okay. That's okay to have like that. Because what we're going to do now is we're going to just take one of these. I'll probably take one of these longer ones, and I'm just going to push it to the side there. Now this will come in handy. That bit there will come in handy really soon. So what I'm working with now are these 3 pieces here, just like that. Now I'm going to get Like I said, I'm using bale pliers, but for this part you can use round nose pliers or even a pencil, depending on what size you want. Okay, so what I want to do here is I'm just gonna flatten this out, and then I'm gonna get my pliers here, and I'm gonna use this section here. So I'm gonna use that side because it's big enough for me to put a chain through, because this will end up being a necklace pendant. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put the wire in there, and I'm just going to fold it over. I'm just going to fold it over like so. Give it a little twist, so then that way it'll be all connected there. And if you want, you can fix it up a bit like that. Bring it under just a little bit and just straighten that up like that. So here we have just the bale part here. Now with this bit that you put to the side here, what we're going to do is we're just going to wrap it around. It doesn't matter which direction you go in, but you want to make sure that you're wrapping that around there, because that's going to hold everything together. Now what I like to do, because you have these bits here and you've started wrapping this around, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my cutters and I'm going to cut as close as I can and just cut them off like so. So now we've got this bit here, and then what I do is I'm going to wrap this around like so, because I want to cover those bottom bits there, and so that they're nice and hidden. Now I just keep going around like this. Now I've got this little excess bit. I think I've gone around enough. You can go as much less or as much as you want to, but I'm happy with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut to about there. So I'm just going to snip that off. Let me just move this. Now this is where you can use your round pliers for this too, but I have long nose pliers which work really well, and I'm able to get pretty much underneath the stone here. So what you want to do is you just want to come along and get that snug and underneath, just there, because we don't want any bits, coming out, because the last thing you want is, if you were to wear this, you don't want those end bits of the wire scratching on your skin, because it will hurt. So we don't want that. And then to make it a little bit more pretty, I would say, you can always you just get your nail and just open these up just a little bit to the side like that. And there we go. We have a beautiful piece that it will only take you, once you get the hang of it, only take you about 10 minutes to do, maybe 20, and then you have a nice piece of jewelry or pendant. You could use it for a key ring, hang it from a bag, wear it as a necklace. But this is just your basic cage wire wrapped pendant. And then you can just, if you want to, just come along. If you see if they're a bit loose, just come along and try and push them as snug as you can up against the stone, because you don't want that stone coming out. A good way to test if you want to stop your stone from coming out, is to give it a pull in each direction. So that stone, that stone's not going anywhere at all. So there we go. One handmade, wire wrapped, beautiful piece of electroplated quartz that you can wear. So there we go. And you can do that with, you don't have to do stones like that. You can use stones that look like this. I find stones that have a smaller bottom are a lot easier to wrap with a cage wire, or even stones like that, because you have that smaller bit at the bottom. It allows for the cage part to catch on, and that way you when it's in, your stone won't fall out. So yeah, there we go. So yeah, so I hope that was helpful, and I taught you a little something. If you like, you can tune in next time when I try to do something a little more different. And yeah, so thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. And I hope that you have a lovely day and enjoy creating, because it can be the most relaxing thing that you can do. Anyway, have a great day or night, and I'll see you again in the next video. Bye.